let's round off on this. We gave it a little bit of lip service earlier, but let's just finish up with the Solana thing. So it goes down again early this morning. Apparently right after, and I heard some people talking about this, but I just kind of tune out airdrops because I don't care about them really. But some kind of like Jupiter airdrop, I think it was called, or something, that happened a few days ago. And I guess it was on Solana. And I saw Sami mention this. Apparently the Bankless boys were congratulating Solana at the end of one of their podcasts for handling this huge airdrop so well, and like shout out to the Solana team or some, I don't know. I didn't hear it myself. I'm just going off of a game of telephone here. But then, you know, days later, Solana goes down again, basically. So, you know, we can talk about like the folly of the network and how it's really been the last couple of years. But really, the other angle of this too is, you know, it's already been a front runner in this bull market. It's run already, you know, and this is something that we've talked about, like during its whole run and the whole bonk thing over the last couple of months while PulseChain was still depressed. We've seen Solana pretty much top out on that move and start to come back down significantly. I think these continued issues with their network, the fact that there's so much kind of bloat in it at this point and everybody's on it. I mean, it's a second cycle at this point. Again, every influencer in the world is on top of it. It was like the fad thing to do, you know, over the last 6 months or so. I think it's all reasons why it's likely, you know, very likely not the best opportunity in this bull market. I mean, like clearly we sit here and talk about PulseChain every single week because that's where we think the best opportunity is. You know, will other tokens and memes and this and that outrun PulseChain? Yeah. Tell me what they are, though. I don't know.
Right.
But as far as like things that you could feel comfortable placing your bets on, I mean, there's no way that I would take Solana over PulseChain or, you know, any of these, or even like these new layer twos or like Aptos, Arbitrum. People have to realize that this stuff just is not crypto. Yes, it is a token that they call a cryptocurrency, but these things weren't done in a fair manner at all. You know, PulseChain had a sacrifice phase. So if you want to say that, I mean, I don't know how you could say that sacrificers are, you know, have a leg up on anybody. They've been underwater for 2 years, basically. So, and still are. You know, you actually beat people that sacrifice by buying over the last 8 months. But with this stuff, we know that VC guys got in, and there are literally token unlock dumping schedules, you know, like quarterly. And a lot of them I know are here in February. So Solana is a big one. So there's just plenty of sell pressure, you know, and we have that here too. I'm not saying we don't. We have whales in this ecosystem and stuff like that. But it's not the same as people who got a significantly lower price than you that were incentivized to and never have a plan on staying in the token to begin with. So anyway, that's a long spiel to say that I don't think Solana is a good opportunity this bull cycle, but seeing these things happen with it make it even worse. So what do you think, Ewok?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could totally see it running. Don't get me wrong. I think it could run up. It could end up being, you know, $200. I think the high, let's look at it here. What was this high back here? $257 back in November of 21.
Sounds
you know,
right.
It could get up there again. There's a lot of backing. There's a lot of VC backing. But as you said, those VCs have unlocked schedules. So, you know, at this point when your token is $96, okay, if it gets to 300 back to the top ish, 3x, you know, is it worth it? You know, no, it's not worth it then. If you would have bought back at $8, then okay, maybe. But I don't think now's the time if you're going to be buying anything like that, especially something that the chain goes down. You know, it's crazy to me how many times this chain can go down, and it just keeps going. People don't care at all. But if there's a glitch or if something happens, let's say it would happen with PulseChain. Oh my God, Richard's a scammer. You know, immediately, like it's just there's so much bias when it comes to this type of stuff. You know, it baffles me. I don't understand it. You know, like I said, I wouldn't spend $96 on one token. I'd spend $96 on PulseChain if I had to buy one or the other. Knowing a first cycle type thing like this is coming out, with the amount of builders and developers and community and everything that's behind it, I I definitely wouldn't touch it. Just by the VC backing alone, they're going to dump on your heads. You know what's going to happen, and they've scheduled it to happen. So, yeah, I would stay far, far away from it. But we do have to welcome that community again. Again,
Mhm.
the gist of this whole conversation and a lot of this stream tonight has been accepting other people. I would like to ask the Solana people to come and see what we have. I hate it when I see your shit sucks. You should come look at ours. Well, that's not the way
Yeah.
to, that's not the way to get people in by telling them that their thing sucks. It's just not the best way to handle it. Um, you should feel compassion for them for their stuff going down all the time and say, hey, something we have over here is pretty special. You may want to come take a look at it. I mean, that's how it should be approached. You get more bees with honey than shit. So
Very true. Unfortunately, a lot of it, and that may work for some people, but I think a lot of it is just having balls. And here's the thing. The Solana thing is, it's backed by big people. It's not just backed by the VC investors and stuff, but, Coin Bureau, Ben Armstrong, all these different people have been all over Solana for a while now. So investors feel more comfortable with that if it's being covered. PulseChain, it's like they don't understand that there's more of an asymmetric upside because of the fact that we don't have these VC guys in here. And like the fact that because it isn't on an exchange is because it's the best time to get it value wise. I mean, to me right now, I personally think if I bought PulseChain right now today with it just hovering a little above SAC rate, I am thinking like bare minimum. I think I'm going to get a 30x from that buy. Like that's just me. I think like I'd be very comfortable saying I do think that will be a 30x from that buy right now. If I bought Solana today, I would be hoping best case scenario for a 15x. That's what I personally would be. I know we've seen people say like, oh yeah, it's going to go well over 2K and all this. Maybe it does. That's fine. But even then, it's still not better than my PulseChain buy that I think I'm getting. So yeah, I mean, I just, it just there's too many. First off, it does go down so frequently. There's too many people backing it at this point as far as value, investing this cycle. It's its second cycle. There's too many things working against it for me. And everything that we have going on PulseChain, insane community, insanely cheap fees, all these great things being built on it right now. And that's the thing too, is everything being built on PulseChain by a lot of these developers they all have the same ethos of Richard Hart in them, whether it's liquid loans or Tetra or any of this stuff. I mean, Fame, all that stuff. They have the real DeFi ethos built in them. I don't think I'm going to get that on other blockchains. So that's just where I would rather be.
what are you hearing? People think it's going to go over 2,000.
Well, we talked about that. Miguel said that one week. We talked about that on a stream. I mean, even DCC himself said that. That's really who I was referencing, but I'm sure there's other
Okay.
people who think that. And I mean, again, it was 250 last cycle. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be more like, I'd actually be surprised if it got to 1,000, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be more like 500 or 2x last time's highs. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I know people are bullish on it. So
Yeah.
yeah. That's all I
Not me.
got on it. Any other thoughts from you, Ewok?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm not bullish on it.
No, no, not really either. But I do definitely welcome those people though. And I think I know we say it all the time, but like people do run to green candles, unfortunately. And if that's what it does take eventually, that may just be what it takes. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. But